Thank you. I must say, this is probably the best introduction for speakers I've ever seen at a conference, and I've been to a few. Thank you a lot. So, yeah, hi, my name is Erik Hellman. I'm currently working a little bit with WebRTC, so I thought I would give a lightning talk about that. We'll see how lightning it goes. So, does everybody here know what WebRTC is? A few. So, who here? Anyone here used it, like in production? A few of you. Good. Then you'll learn something new today. So, WebRTC is the web standard for the APIs and the protocols for the real-time communication that makes applications like Hangouts, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and all these video and voice calling applications that you use. It's also the part of the APIs in your browser that lets you get the camera and the microphone. Very briefly explain what that is. Now, so this is the website for WebRTC. The WebRTC people are not web developers, per se. They come from backgrounds like telecommunication, encodings, media codecs, and stuff like that. So they have a little bit of different perspective from you guys. So this is why I joined this team recently and have been working with them on, for one thing, and we're going to talk about today, is the samples. We are going to work on the website as well, but I'm not going to talk about that more. But just to give you an example of the problems here is like if you go into this website and click developer, you find testing with Wireshark. Anyone here used Wireshark in their daily development of web apps? Wow. OK, yeah, so it is a little bit skewed, so it's not really focused on web developers, and we're trying to address that. But samples. So this is a GitHub repo for the samples. I've been working basically alone for this for a couple of months now, trying to update them. They were in dire need of some love. They hadn't been updated properly for a couple of years. So we're at the point now where at least the code doesn't, we're not ashamed of it anymore, but now we want to take it to the next level. Like the samples now, they are what we call like bare bone. Basically, if we zoom in here, it looked like this. This is plain JavaScript, and we have some global variables, and we have a couple of functions, and we connect them there. So it's not really what you would use in like a production application where you have a framework. And this is something I was thinking about. Like, why are we writing samples in this bare bone way? Isn't that like counterproductive? Because we're developers, we're lazy, we copy codes. People will copy this way of doing things and then mix it into their existing applications, and it will just be messy. So I was arguing for let's use a framework, like pick anyone for a moment, and try to like use that together with WebRTC to show how you combine two technologies. Make the samples more contextualized. That's what we call them, contextualized samples. So if you go into the WebRTC GitHub io/samples, you come to this page where we list all the samples we have right now. And you can click around there, try them out, etc. You can download them. You can even open the JavaScript console here and see the debug logs that we print out for different things that happen. So it's useful for learning the rather complicated part of WebRTC. Now, so I made another sample, and this is this one. It's basically sending messages between two peers. Now, that happens to be the peers on the same web page, but that's just the technicality. So we connect, and now we connected the two peers, and I can add a message here and send that one, and it pops out up here in the lower one, and we can send message the other direction, and it pops up there. So nothing strange, really, but it's using the WebRTC APIs for doing this. It's peer-to-peer. What I did to create this sample was that the whole UI there is implemented with something called litelement. Anyone here use the Polymer for anything? Yeah? So litelement is a very, very lightweight framework for doing using web components. So I just picked that one, mostly because I was also interested in web components and Polymer. And I started with that one, and I submitted the PR, and we had a long discussion about whether we should have bare-bone samples or contextualized samples. And yeah, so that's where we are. Now, this one looks, you can go in and look at the code here. Now, the message I want here is two things. First of all, I would like your help with these samples. I've been working alone on them for the last 4 months. It would be nice to have more people coming in. So even if you're not experienced with WebRTC, please come and join me. I would actually like to hear what you think, new developers. How do you feel about these APIs and how you use them? And thank you. And finally, the final thing is, what do you think about this idea about contextualized samples where we combine them with some framework? So that's the message. See you all today, later.